welcome back to Good Day State Line. We're hanging out with Greg at Old Joliet Prison because Halloween is right around the corner and we thought we'd drive over here to come see you. So tell us a little bit just about the prison in general.
Sure. So the prison is one of the oldest continually operating prisons in the country. It was built in 1858. It was actually the second penitentiary in Illinois. The first was along the Mississippi River in Alton. It was built over the course of several years. A common question we get is when was it finished, and really it never was.
Sure.
They were building it and hey, we just need a little more money. But even by today's standards, it's massive. It's 16 acres inside the walls, made of native Joliet limestone. The prison's architect, W.W. Boynton, was actually the same architect who did the Chicago Water Tower, which was also made of Joliet limestone. And the difference here is that the Joliet limestone was actually quarried by the prisoners, and most of the prison was constructed by the prisoners themselves.
So how long was it used as a prison?
For almost 150 years, from 1858 all the way up until 2002. So to put that in perspective, as we say to our visitors, the Old Joliet Prison held prisoners from before the Civil War until after 9/11. So if you think about how much American history was in that period, and this prison was open and operational for that whole time.
Well, in 2002 wasn't that
It was not that long ago. That's right.
I mean, for us, we talked about this, we're about the same
that's
age.
right.
It wasn't that long ago. So what kind of tours do you guys give here, and does it change throughout the year?
It does. We're actually, this year, kind of new for October, we're doing a series of evening tours where we are allowing people to kind of go self-guided, and we're including a complimentary flashlight with that, so you can kind of explore in the evening with the flashlight. Very kind of DIY and interesting, and you're reading the signs and just kind of going at your own pace. We also have a haunted tour that's returning, and basically what we do with the haunted tour is we sort of just introduce the history. It's important for us that all our tours, as a museum, as a historic entity, are rooted in fact and in truth. So we kind of start with saying, you know, here are kind of the legendary stories that are true. If you think it's haunted, you decide.
Do you think it's haunted? You can't say. He's sworn to secrecy. I get scared of everything. You saw this. We walked in here together. I freaked out because I saw your reflection in something.
Right,
I was
that's
like,
right.
There's a man in there.
Yep. Well, and what we find out is that usually the truth is more terrifying in a number of ways. We say we don't need to exaggerate for this place to be scary, right? So.
Well, it is kind of scary, especially where we are right now. This is, what do we call this, the tomb?
Yes.
Okay.
This building was known as North Segregation, solitary confinement, also called the Tombs. So kind of the literal and figurative epicenter of the prison right here. And this was actually the original building constructed. 53 inmates came from the state's first penitentiary in Alton, constructed this prison, and from this building slowly constructed the prison around themselves.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And this place is famous for a ton of reasons. First, the architecture. Like, that's one of the reasons why it's notable, right?
Yes. W.W. Boynton, again, designed the Chicago Water Tower. So really a heavyweight, did a lot of pre-Chicago fire structures. Certainly you have pop culture elements. The Blues Brothers is really how people closely identify. Of course, you have Joliet Jake, and this is the Joliet from Joliet Jake. So Prison Break is actually, we're finding it's very big in East Asia, especially in China with our Chinese tourists. They know Prison Break, they know all the characters. In Western Europe, it's definitely the Blues Brothers. So, but even going, you know, those are fairly recent films. Going back to the 1880s and 90s, there were efforts to kind of broadcast, if you will, the operation of the Joliet Penitentiary as the model penitentiary around the world. So it's had this kind of one-word synonymous Joliet equals prison. So
is that how you feel?
Well, it was a sticking point getting this book because Joliet has a reputation as the prison city, and that was a sticking point. That was used to kind of degrade Joliet, to, you know, make a not good reputation about it. But we argued the site was abandoned for 15 years, that, you know, we should literally and figuratively take this site back, and we should own that reputation and do economic development, do tourism, do what we're doing today to, just as we've said, the prison was used to define us. Let's define the prison to the rest of the world.
All right, so how do we get tickets to come visit?
Sure, you can go to jolietmuseum.org, jolietprison.org, and book your tickets. We strongly recommend pre-booking, even if you're doing self-guided. We can kind of take walk-ups, but don't miss out. We're actually adding a new feature this year on some of our weekend tours. The Captain's Court is how prisoners were disciplined historically. That was the name of it when the guards, you know, got together and, you know, issued an infraction. So we're doing the Captain's Court Beer Garden this year. We're featuring local craft brews. So after you do a tour, before you do a tour, you have an area where you can kind of sit and just, you're inside the walls. Like, it's an incredible place to be in and sit and have a drink and kind of contemplate, what you just saw or what you're about to see. So, so we're really excited to kind of bring these new evening experiences online in the month of October. So come see us.
I'm kind of glad I came during the day, though. I'm scared of everything.
Fair.
I'm afraid of everything. We have your chance, though, to take your entire family on a tour at Old Joliet Prison. Just head to gooddaystateline.com now to enter to win a family 4-pack of tickets. Coming up next on GDS, it's Tuesday Trends with State Line Pressure Wash and Painting, and we're making a 3-ingredient chili cheese dip. It's hard to say. Don't go anywhere.
The preceding segment was sponsored by Joliet Area Historical Museum.